All right, welcome back to another episode. How we doing, everybody? So, this is your host again, Mr. AJ Johnson. I'm here helping out my man, Mr. Zen, the Zen Master Diab. And we're here to teach you how to become a more interesting human being, which is not that hard. People think it's much more difficult. Think you're born with this innate thing, but we're all born with this innate thing because we're all human. Human is a very, very strange, beyond strange predicament to be in life. Because just consider, you know that you're going to die one day. That alone, that very phrase alone, that you understand that you're on this planet, and you know roughly how much time you have about on this planet if everything goes perfectly as planned, and you know, oh shit, I'm gonna die one day. And most of the time, by the time you really realize it, when it really settles into you, you're already about at least a third in already. Yeah, it's about, like, you realize you're gonna die around 21, but it's not until about 30-ish. You're like, wow, yeah, I will die. And then you get up to about 50-ish. I imagine you're like, dude, it's not too far from here. And then you get up to about 70, 80. You're like, dude, any day now is gonna happen. So that's just a bizarre experience in itself, which will make everybody a lot more interesting. You at least think it'll make everybody a lot more interesting. Just that very aspect that we realize we're gonna die. But hey, this is life, and this is how we exist, and people don't really get it yet. But anyway, the lesson of today is I want you guys to be more human and less robotic. And what I mean by that, more humanizing, less processing. You gotta understand, people. We are animals. Now, we are ordained by God to be the highest form of animals on this planet that we are aware of. At least there's some magical creatures that we haven't heard of yet. But besides the point, we are humans. And what humans are these highly intelligent, I don't know how intelligent we are, but we're the most intelligent. I don't know, we might not be the most intelligent, but besides the point, we're an intelligent species that sees the world as very abstract thing. Until we get taught language, we're able to put word and context into particular items. Like, for example, if I never told you what a pen was, and this is why babies always put everything in their mouth as soon as they pick it up, because they want to see, okay, is this edible to me? No, not edible. And so they put that in the category, not edible, useless, don't need it. I'll just keep it around. But as we get older, our minds begin to accumulate knowledge. And when we accumulate this knowledge, what happens is we start to categorize things. We start to process things before we even get a chance to actually think and take it in, if that makes sense. So, like, for example, I got a coffee mug. Now, if this is ancient times and I did not have the language for what a coffee mug is, all I would see is, okay, hard, hollow, water. Or I could put something in it. That's all you would analyze. And that's the type of mind that you guys start to readopt. Now, it's very difficult because once you've been schooled and you've been cultured by this society, it's very difficult to get back to that abstract mind. But the best way to get in order to get back to that abstract mind is to take on tasks that are very novel to you, that you have not tried. You have to draw in the experimental outlook on life. So if you want to expand and bring back the abstract mind of not knowing the unknown and touching the deeper territories of things that you have not touched, the uncharted territories, you have to have a more experimental outlook upon life. So you got to test a lot of things out that even though somebody told you they might not be right, they might not be wrong, you have to go and you have to test. And this is the experimental outlook upon life. So in order to unlock your abstract mind to be able to think in a more abstract, free-flowing mindset, you must utilize the experimental outlook on life. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean, AJ? I don't understand. I'm a little bit confused. But what it means to have experimental outlook means that you're constantly testing, taking in new information, reforming new knowledge with that information, and then retesting again. So, like, for example, even if you're going on dates with women, one of the hardest aspects for most men growing up is when it comes to dating is, what do I say? And a lot of guys are just paralyzed by that fear. They don't know what to say, and so they don't say anything. And thus, by not saying anything, they essentially never get any new information, and they stay in the same spot. But the guys who become very good with women, and have become the Casanovas, they go and they simply say hello, and they go from hello into being denied, and then they go from being denied to adding another part to the game, and then they go to the next girl, add hello, how you doing, denied, next girl, and they keep going until they build out a system, because they're using the abstract mind by testing the waters, and by using the experimental outlook upon life, they're able to grasp new knowledge, and that new knowledge makes you more interesting because you didn't go and just read a book and did what everybody else did. You went out and figured out your own system by which to navigate life. And that is the secret to becoming very interesting. It's by developing your own code, your own philosophy by which you navigate life. In order to do that, which is very difficult for most people, break all the rules besides the real ones. Don't go out and kill people. Don't go out and rob things. Now, if you do rob and kill, that's going to make you far more interesting, because people in crime are very, very interesting. I can admit that we are all mesmerized by people who commit crimes and rob banks, but don't do that. I'm not telling you that. But I'm saying break societal norms. Wear a funky shirt like this. Train with a club. Start a podcast. Do things that make you look weird and outlandish to society. Because by doing that, you then become a much more interesting individual, because then you don't have the same experiences as the rest of society. So, the 3 things you need to understand in order to start being more human and stop processing so much so you're not a robot. Abstract mind. Stop looking at things as what they are and start looking at things for what you believe they should be based off society and what they've been taught to you, which is very difficult. And try to look at things for simply what they are. A piano. Just random keys. Adopt the experimental outlook. Always be testing. Always be taking in new data. Utilize your own experiences to be able to formulate your own ideas. And then use those ideas to go test in the real world. That's one way you learn. Just like in business, you can have the greatest ideas, but if you don't test them in the real world and see what they do, it means nothing. It's foo-foo. And then break all the rules besides the real ones. Please, people, I'm not advocating that you kill people or you rob and steal from the poor, unless you steal from the rich and then give it back to the poor, and I can support that. But break all societal and normal rules. Just see what happens. I mean, you're not going to get killed. Don't go out and disrespect people, but I mean, try wearing 2 different color shoes. Dye your hair maybe black on one side, white on the other side. I don't know. Cut a beard off halfway. See what happens. Just see how people react to you. See what that new experience feels like. And if that new experience is something that you kind of like, then rock with it. If you don't like it, throw it away. Try something else new. But anyway, that's the goal. Your homework for today is do something that you have not tried before. Experiment. Say hello to that lovely nurse that you've been looking at for the last 2 years. Try a new brand of coffee. Try a bunch of things. Just do different things that's going to give you a different outlook upon how you view your life. This is a little bit long, but appreciate it, Zen Master Zdia. This is AJ with the Interesting Human course, and I look forward to telling you guys a little bit more about how to become the most interesting human being by utilizing these.